Hey everybody, it's Lon Simon. We've got another cheap PC to take a look at. This one is going to be making an appearance in an upcoming follow-up on my DVR project, hopefully later this week. This is the Azulle Access Plus. We'll have a full review of this in addition to that DVR video, and you'll be able to find all of that on my main channel at lon.tv. Now, Azulle sent this to the channel free of charge, and what this is a little Cherry Trail PC that is fanless that you can just use as a stick. Now, it's kind of large for a stick PC, but there's a reason why it is so large, and this is one reason why I think it might be great for our DVR project, is that it has a full-size Ethernet jack built into it, so we can connect it to a wired network without having all this stuff hanging off of it. So I envision this maybe sitting behind a television with an extension cable plugging into the HDMI, but you could presumably just stick it directly into an HDMI port on a monitor, but it might be a little heavy for that. It looks like it's got a ton of ports on here. So on the back, it looks like that's a Kensington lock. You got a headphone jack over there. Here's your Ethernet port on this side. I think this is probably just a 100 megabit Ethernet, but we'll take a look at that in the full review again, which will be up at lon.tv. You have an SD card slot here. This one has 4 gigs of RAM and 32 gigabytes of onboard storage. It costs $175. They've got one with 2 gigabytes of RAM and 32 gigs of storage for $140. So not all that expensive for a full-fledged PC. USB 2, USB 3. It looks like we've got an OTG USB port there, so you could plug in an OTG adapter cable and get another USB 2 port, and then you've got your power switch over here. There is a warning sticker on here, and what it's telling me is that the speed and power consumption of the device will vary depending on its use. The surface of the product may get warm when running CPU-intensive programs, streaming high-definition movies, or playing 3D games. However, it's designed with a patented thermal dissipation system to prevent itself from overheating. So one of the things that I'll do when I do the review is I'll run that stress test that we run on these things to make sure that it can handle the load over time. This does have a good amount of heat dissipation, but I'm sure they've gotten customer concerns about it heating up, which I'm sure it will, but I think it's designed to get hot on the outside to draw the heat away from the processor. They do give you an HDMI extender cable here in the box, not all that big, but good enough, and a power adapter here, and I believe this one is delivering 5 volts at 3 amps. So we'll have to be careful as to what we plug into this thing. I do believe the Ethernet here is working through the USB bus in some way, so I'm sure we'll have a lot of power that will be already used for all the internal components, so we'll have to be careful about what peripherals we plug into it. So I'm going to try to get this sticker off of this thing. It's kind of really stuck on there. And you'll probably see this first in my DVR update video. I'm going to be looking at ways to implement that DVR project on the cheap, and then we'll have a full review maybe next week on my main channel at lon.tv. Thanks for watching.
This channel is brought to you by my Patreon supporters, including gold level supporter Cody Falk. If you want to help the channel, you can by contributing as little as $1 a month. Head over to lon.tv/Patreon to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe. Visit lon.tv/s.